Karoline Leavitt blamed evil forces and spiritual warfare as part of what is dragging down Donald Trump. This is a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs interview with the Christian Broadcasting Network. The framing of the interview is her hardcore religious beliefs. I feel the need to issue a little bit of a disclaimer here. I don't really feel the need to criticize Karoline Leavitt for being religious, okay? Many people draw strength from their faith, and that's fine. But two things are a problem here. Number one, she's getting into wacky supernatural territory, talking about evil forces trying to stop Trump like some kind of demonic Marvel character, right? That's a problem. And number two, she constantly claims religious values, honesty, humility, service, and then she ignores them completely. Kayleigh McEnany did this as well. She's, with her big cross and I'm so religious. She lied more than any press secretary up to that point. Maybe Karoline Leavitt will surpass her. So here is Karoline Leavitt explaining that there is spiritual warfare and evil forces at play against the Mango Menace.
It's warfare out there. In Christian terms, people will call what's happening in our country today spiritual warfare. Yeah. Do you see it in those terms, kind of good versus evil out there, and that context? How do you see that?
I certainly believe in spiritual warfare, and I think I saw it firsthand, especially throughout the campaign trail with President Trump. And I think there certainly were evil forces, and I think that the president was saved by the grace of God on July 13th in Butler, Pennsylvania, and he's in this moment for a reason. We're all here for a reason, and I think it's a miraculous thing that has taken place in our country.
Think about that. She believes in spiritual warfare and evil forces. That spiritual warfare and those evil forces butted up against, on that day in Butler, Pennsylvania, the will of God. And God rejected the spiritual warfare launched against Trump by redirecting the bullet so it would graze Trump's ear, but kill an innocent person standing behind Donald Trump. What a world. What a world. We have moved from fake news to full-blown demonic conspiracy. And this is not a random Trump surrogate. This is the primary person who speaks for Trump at the White House. She was asked more generically about her faith. Listen to this.
Your Catholic education, you've talked about this before, about how it shaped who you are today. Tell us about that. How so? Because the Catholic education was very important. Your Catholicism growing up, God, church, very important to you.
Yes, my faith is incredibly important to me. I would argue now more than ever, being in a role that is very demanding and at times controversial, and there's a lot of public pressure and discussion online about who you are and your family, and it could be difficult for someone who doesn't have faith, but with faith, all things are possible. And my Catholic education was a pivotal part of my upbringing. It definitely teaches discipline, is something you learn in Catholic schools. And then I obviously went to a Catholic college as well, St. Anselm in New Hampshire, which not only drove my faith further, but also introduced me to the world of politics and news.
Yeah. How did it drive your faith further, you think, at St. Anselm? You had challenges there, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. And just being in a community that embraces faith and talks about it openly and opens your eyes to it, and also being around fellow students and peers who aren't afraid to go to church on Sunday. And
the problem I have with this is that she lies constantly. She lies constantly about what Trump has done. She lies constantly about Biden's record. She lies about the press. She lies about what Trump has said, even when it's on video. So I have no issue with her bringing talking about her religious background. I do have a problem with the wacky supernatural stuff, but which part of the way that she carries out this job lines up with Christian values? Because I missed the verse about bearing false witness to protect a guy who tried to overthrow the government. I missed the part about telling lie after lie after lie. I don't know where any of that came from. And yet she insists that this is how she's oriented to the world. Finally, she was asked about taking questions from reporters.
When you call on reporters, are you already kind of gaming out in your head, oh, okay, I know where they're going to go today? Do you kind of think that through?
Oftentimes the questions are predictable. If you just look at the MSDNC Chiron, you'll know where some of the reporters in that room are going to go.
So the whole routine, wrapping Trump in religious martyrdom, wrapping herself in this aura of religiosity, claiming the critics are evil, talking about spiritual warfare. I believe that it's dangerous. It dehumanizes political opponents and it turns basic truth telling into a satanic attack. When the reporters bring her, hey, you said this about what Trump said, but here's the video. You already lied, and she lies again. It makes the argument that that's a satanic attack somehow. When you've got the White House press secretary talking like she's leading an exorcism, maybe you should say, I don't know that the problem is spiritual warfare. Maybe I'm defending a guy who's incompetent and a liar every single day. Maybe the problem is she's working for a twice impeached convicted felon and trying to spin it and say, it's God's will. It's God's will that I defend the lies of a twice impeached convicted felon. Wacky stuff. But as I've said before, she seems to have what it takes to last as Donald Trump's press secretary. She may end up being the longest serving press secretary under Trump. All right, I want to say thank you to the 357 people who reviewed my book on Amazon, and many of them also on Barnes & Noble and on Goodreads. The book is out. We're going to know very soon about how the book did in week 1. Barnes & Noble is restocking many of their stores, selling through their 3 to 5 copies. They were going to get 2 copies. Then many stores got 3, 4, 5. Many stores sold all of them. They're flying. I am flattered and humbled by what's going on. If you haven't gotten the book, I encourage you to get it. Hardcover, Kindle, audiobook. If you have gotten the book, please review it, especially on Amazon, but also Barnes & Noble and Goodreads. We've got a great bonus show for you today. We will talk about the latest with the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. We will talk about Marine Le Pen being banned from running for president in France over embezzlement. And our old friend Royce White, remember the strip club spending guy that I interviewed a while ago? He now is trying to explain how 80% of his campaign spending was on credit card fees. How could that possibly be? We will discuss it on the bonus show, which you can access by signing up at joinpacman.com. Get the full experience. It's the daily bonus show.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money. Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
Yes, the bonus show. Commercial-free audio and video feeds of the show. The show is made available hours earlier to our members, and you get access to the members-only soundboard and lots of other great stuff. So I'll see you then, and I'll be back tomorrow for Liberation Day, according to Donald Trump. It sounds very bad. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.